Michigan great Braylon Edwards and, of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
And welcome to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Without Ermanni, Edwards, or Maz, we ain't even got KG in the sound booth today. But you're here, and we still got Pete. Oh, faithful Pete.
Pete ain't going nowhere.
Let Pete cook. Pete, happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
Great
boys.
to work
How
with
are
you guys today. My
Good to
name
be here.
is Stick. That, of course, is Anson Wells. We got KG in Maz's chair today, Pete in the Pete booth. And then, of course, why don't we, if you haven't been introduced, introduce yourself. Say hello to everybody. Let them know your name, where you're from. All right. Is your mic on?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was just messing.
Yeah, he just trying to get at you.
Now it's on.
There it is. All right.
All I heard was East Side.
Oh, fellow East Sider. Anson will love that today.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the day after Christmas, everything's kind of weird during this week. Like, always the week between Christmas and New Year's Eve, it's like, what day is it? What the hell's going on? No one really has anything to do. Not a lot of people are working, but us sycophants. Anson, how was your holiday?
My holiday was very nice, but it was unfulfilled. I had one gift I was really excited to give, and I didn't get a chance to give it. But I will today.
Aww, look at this.
Aww.
From Jacob West. Shout out Jacob West. Who's Jacob West?
It's not. It's just a reused thing.
Oh!
Whoa, hang on.
Can you tell us what that is, Stick?
It looks like a Jared Goff
You want to put that up
That
again?
is a-
rookie
that
card.
is a
Oh!
rated rookie. He's got the wrong
Panini
jersey
rated
on.
rookie.
If you put that up again to your left, yeah, there we go.
To the back and to the left.
Jared
Back
Goff.
into the
Jared Goff. Jared
Man.
Jared
Dude, did you see that dude that got the
Rated
cutout?
rookie.
It's Jared Goff.
This is better. This is Jared Goff! It's Jared Goff! Back when we all knew what this young man was going to do for Detroit.
That's right, baby.
God, what a journey. What a journey for
Truly.
this guy to make it from this card with that uniform to become my Lord and Savior.
Good enough for Detroit, my man.
He's good enough for everybody.
That's right.
Thank you, Anson. I really appreciate
You're
this.
very welcome.
Nice.
I got you a bow.
Well, I got to be honest. I kind of stole that from somebody out there, Lady James. I'm going to return that. But listen, you have been supporting this guy since the Reclamation Project trade happened. You have stood by him through the downs. You have been his loudest supporter through the ups. And if there's anybody that deserves a Jared Goff rookie card, it is you, my man, the Dream Maker, Mr. Stick.
You are the wind beneath my wings. Fly, Jared.
See, I've given him some cards, but he had never gotten this excited.
Yeah,
off.
no, I mean, come on, man. This is Jared Goff. This is going to be a Hall of Fame card.
Yep.
This,
Oh, yeah.
Jared Goff's going in the Hall of Fame.
With 2 rings.
There's going to be a statue of this guy in downtown Detroit in the next
Ooh,
15
I like
years.
That.
Jared Goff.
I like that. Putting the curse of Bobby Lane to rest. In fact, I brought the Bobby Lane 1950 first Lions jersey card in on Tuesday to share with Mr. Terry Foster.
Oh, I thought you were sharing it with Maz because Maz was there when they took that photo.
I'm bringing that back in for.
Okay. Maz was actually the photographer of the card. Fun fact. A lot of people don't know this.
Too good.
Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Thank you very much. Anson, you're getting a ton of love. ARF, nice one, Anson. DT Lions, Jared Goff. And nice card. Going to be worth a lot by J. Cruz in 71. It already is worth a lot.
And I'll be honest with you.
Sentimental value is through the roof. You couldn't pry this thing out of my hands.
Well, you might want to pry it out just for a month or two and send it to PSA because that might come back
Oh, that's a
a
good.
gem mint
That's
10.
wow.
It is very well centered. Spend my
And the
time.
best part is like who kept Jared Goff rookie cards.
Right.
Like this it's like
Right.
let's be honest too.
You know,
not a lot
I
of
wish,
people
I wish
valued
I would
these
have
when they
invested
came
in
out.
the summer because his prices were so low in the summer, but this season that guy has tripled, quadrupled. People know. People know.
People know. See,
The stock's on the rise.
They're still here.
The golf ball.
Golf balls are
balls.
always here. They're always here.
Golf balls.
Golf ball.
All right, let's talk about some sports.
Let's
Thank you
do
very
that.
much,
All right.
Anson.
You're
I do
welcome, my
appreciate that. Some football yesterday.
Well, it was.
I love football.
They called it football. but-
NFL's my favorite thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Yesterday's game sucked.
Yeah. They called it football. Didn't look like football.
Yeah.
The broadcast was nice though. Netflix.
What'd you think about Netflix?
No, Netflix did an awesome job. I like the people that they picked, for the sideline reporting for the actual game, and just the overall broadcast was like really good. It was a far cry from the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fiasco. Like I said earlier, when Roger make that call, you got to get your ish together, man, and that's what they did. Looking forward to more live sports from Netflix, but as far as the football itself, absolutely putrid. But
KG, you were
broadcast
talking
was
about
great.
the host. There was a host in wearing red. Who was that?
You said it was a host wearing red.
Yes.
It
was a red dress.
Was it Kay Adams?
I don't know, but man.
Shout out Kay Adams,
Wow, dude.
friend of the program, or at
She
least a
is
friend of me.
the show.
So.
Yeah, she was on the heavyweights, right?
Yeah.
Merry
Friend of the
Christmas to
network.
her.
And she was here for the Feldman golf outing.
Yep,
too.
for the Calvin Johnson outing. That's
Yeah.
where I got to meet her.
Okay.
She called me hot.
I was there.
Just
Where
saying.
the hell
Nah, I
was
swear to God, I'll take it to the grave.
Just
Take it to the
saying.
grave.
Was there anybody else there to witness it? Can we get corroborating sources?
There was a fellow gentleman that works for her that was there. So yeah,
Do you know him?
no.
Okay,
That's fine.
So it's
You don't- I don't
it's
need- I
it's
don't need
I'm dating-
validation
I'm
from
dating
anybody
a hot
else.
Girl
You
from high school, but she doesn't go to our school.
Listen,
Like,
I don't
you
need
wouldn't know.
validation
You
from
wouldn't
anyone
know.
else
Canada.
in this room. So.
I need validation though.
Oh, that's fine. That's what sets us apart.
Margot Robbie called me hot once. It was crazy.
Yeah, but I'm
believe that,
not.
Robbie.
I would just come out and say it if it didn't happen. I'm not one of those people either. So.
Kathy Ireland also told me the same.
Oh,
After
word.
hitting
Oh,
a 50-yard
Kathy
field
Ireland.
What, in
Green
85 she
eyes.
told you that?
It was like 91.
On the,
Oh,
on the
excuse
set
me.
of Necessary Roughness.
Right.
My whole childhood ceiling was all
Dude,
Kathy Ireland.
And those green eyes. The green eyes, baby.
Oh, she was crushing.
Yeah, I almost got kicked out of middle school for having a Sports Illustrated calendar where I put all my daily
yeah.
tasks in there, but they didn't look
She
too
and,
kindly
she
of
and
that in the
Elle,
Walled
she
Lake
and
Middle
Elle were the
School.
queens, man.
Who was your
She and Elle.
13-year-old heartthrob?
I mean, Kathy Ireland was everybody's in the '80s, right?
Yeah, mine too, man.
That's just how it is.
Necessary Roughness. Oh, it's such a good movie.
She and Elle McPherson were the top two.
yeah.
Yeah, Kathy Ireland. Now, she's doing great. She's got her own line of clothes and all. Like, Kathy Ireland parlayed that into a lot of stuff.
And she has not aged a day in 20 years.
No.
Shout out
No.
Kathy Ireland.
But let's talk about crappy football again. The games yesterday. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs. What else can you say about the Kansas City Chiefs? I want to be like the Kansas City
No
Chiefs.
doubt.
Everybody hates them. Everybody complains about them. That's what we want, Detroit fans. Like, the people that don't like all the criticism that we're getting for winning and the brashness and all that, I'm sorry. This is what you want. You want to be so annoyingly good that it's predictable you're going to win every single game, even if you don't score. Did you see, like, the statistic of 30-point scores? Is that the one you just threw up?
No, I threw up that the road now goes to the
teams that haven't scored 30 points a year. There's the Kansas City Chiefs who've lost one game, and every other team has like 2 to 3 wins. So like Kansas City Chiefs, what they're doing is special, but it's boring as hell to watch. I don't think anybody gets excited to watch the Kansas City Chiefs play anymore. Patrick Mahomes' show is not exciting anymore. Travis Kelce's a slow, plodding version of himself, but who cares?
Yeah. Right.
They win football games. So as much as I don't like it, Kansas City's got to love it.
Yeah, it's as efficient as you can be on a football field. But you called it, my friend, this offseason, after we were the nation's team, you said people are going to be hating on this team and the fan base because we're going to start to be so damn good.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of that. I mean, I've seen so many memes all year long, whether it's, Mahomes kissing a ref in a fake manga card or just all the different, videos where they break down all of these games where they could easily be a 500 ball club if they didn't have supposedly the refs in their pocket. But they are hated by the majority of NFL fans, and we are quickly approaching that, and that only comes through success. So you've been hitting it on the nail over and over again for the last 2 years when it comes to where this team's going, how we're going to be viewed nationally, and to really just embrace the hate, because if they ain't talking, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, listen, the writing's on the wall. When you're the lovable loser and, you're the fun story.
Yeah.
The Lions are finally winning games. I'm so happy for those fans. But then all of a sudden your stadium is Honolulu blue. Then all of a sudden you're getting chirped on social media. Then all of a sudden there's a back and forth. Then all of a sudden we can puff our chests out a little bit more, and it becomes a little bit more fun because the rabbit's got the gun. And you saw it happen, and you see it happening with it's the psychological thing. Now we're coming in and we're snatching your Super Bowl aspirations. We're snatching your playoff aspirations. Look at what the Green Bay Packers would be this year if it wasn't for the Detroit Lions. Yep. Everybody be talking about them as maybe the Super Bowl favorites. But guess what? You got 2 L's to the Lions. If those roles were reversed, I'd expect to be taking a back seat. Packers fans aren't used to this situation. No, not at all. They're not used to panicking, looking up at Detroit. And look at the Vikings. They're having a crazy magical season for them, right? You got Sam Darnold playing out of his mind. He's never going to play this way again.
Your boy.
Yeah. Never going to play this way again. And look, they're still looking up at the Lions. How frustrating must that be? Yeah. How frustrating must that? I've only lost 2 games this year. In second place. You know, if both teams win this week, right? Mm-hmm. And then they play, the Vikings and the Lions play week 18, it'll be the first time in NFL history where a division, you didn't win a division with 14 games. You were in second place with 14 games.
That's wild.
That's how crazy it is. But imagine how angst and pissed you'd be right now if you were a Vikings fan. Like, if the only other game we lost this year was against the Vikings, it'd drive me nuts. And you see it. You see it just eating these dudes alive. Yes. They don't know how to handle losing, and it's fun to watch because we're used to it. I know how to lose. Well, I'm learning how to win.
They're also stealing souls. They're snatching souls right now. You saw them go to Dallas and take a team that, still was in the playoff hunt mentally, record-wise, and they went and just broke their back, snatched their soul, and the Honolulu flu was real. You lose Dak Prescott, and you lose basically the rest of your games. Their soul was snatched. And guess what we're going to go do in San Francisco on Monday night? Oof. Because this is a revenge-driven team like I've never seen in my life, and that date has been circled. Don't sleep on 50 points.
Yeah. The only thing I'm mad about this week, this Monday Night Football game, is San Francisco's not the team I wanted them to be when this game came down. Like, you want to fight Goliath when Goliath is strong. Like, I don't want to beat a wounded San Francisco team. You want to go out there with them at full strength, then rip their heart out.
If they in the street, they get run over too.
I get it.
I do not care.
Listen, I'm not crying for them by any stretch of the imagination, but just how much more excited would you be if this Monday Night Football game was between a first place San Francisco team, a first place Detroit team, rematch of the NFC Championship game. You're going back to where your heart got ripped out. Like, it would be a lot more. Now it's like, we expect them to win this game. Period.
No, for sure. Period. I mean, it would be more entertaining, but I'll take an easy dub any day of the week. See, and not to say that it would just be a cakewalk, that like they're going to show up. Brock Purdy is still the quarterback, Kyle Shanahan's still the coach, but overall, I mean, nobody's apologizing for anybody in this league. Nobody's apologizing for us having 23 injuries. Right. Yeah, you got to go in there and handle business, man.
So, KG, I feel where Stick is on that, on wanting to beat the best 49er team, but I'm going to say this. This is a rebuild beatdown, meaning they didn't have Ayuk. They didn't have CMC most of the year. Trent's been hurt. Their defense has been banged up. No. But if the Lions go out and embarrass them in the Bay, that could be the catalyst where they say, hey, we got to blow it up.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what I would like, because this has been a very, very good team. This has been one of the best teams in the NFC for the last decade. And if this is that moment where the Lions can literally blow their franchise up, where they're like, listen, we're not even on their level. Even if we get healthy, it's time to make some serious moves.
No, it could be era changing, because they are a perfect example of you only get so many cracks at the apple in this league. They had a very elongated period, more than most teams get. I mean, multiple NFC championships, couple Super Bowl appearances.
Quarterback with three different different quarterbacks.
Jimmy G. I mean, you go down the list, man, but they're at a point now where you're not probably going to pay Brock Purdy, Jared Goff money. So you got to find.
Wait, I was told. But wait,
We was told.
Purdy is like the greatest thing. Go talk to Lindsey Hunter about Brock Purdy.
No, this
He'll
year is-
tell you all about him.
This year especially, it's crazy that Jared Goff was ever compared to Brock Purdy, man. Like, at the end of the day, he's Mr. Irrelevant. He's a 7th-round pick. And yes, it worked because Kyle Shanahan has a great system. And at this point, that's all we can classify him as, a system quarterback. But Jared Goff, he's done things in his career that Brock Purdy only dreams about at this point. So, yeah, this could be era-defining for the 49ers. And if they go into San Francisco and right their wrongs and, like you said, pile it on, then maybe they blow some stuff up because they can't keep going the way they are.
Era ending.
Yeah,
But let that be a cautionary tale too, guys.
Yep,
like
true.
we're in the good
True
times
that.
right now, but look at San Francisco. If you would have told them 5 years ago, they wouldn't even win a Super Bowl with all that they had, with the coaching, with the running back, with the trades they're making. You would have been like, no way, this team's got to win. And the same thing with the Bills. I mean, the Bills looked unbeatable 2-3 years ago. I thought their window closed.
Man.
Ravens,
all 3 of those guys.
And Kansas City Chiefs are just stiff-arming everybody from chasing their dreams. I mean, Stafford popped up and got one. That was a good one. Brady.
We know how you feel about that.
Well, yeah. But, hey, no, he got his. I
he
can't
did.
take it away from
He
him.
did.
You know, that's one thing, right? Banners fly forever. They can't take that away from Stafford.
Yeah.
It's true.
Now, that playoff series, did he get lucky a couple times and people drop interceptions at the end of games that could have sealed the victory for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Maybe that happened.
You got to get lucky along the way.
But, yeah, hey, it
The
happened.
Lions got luck too. I mean, we've sustained all these injuries and we still just as good as we ever been. So
That's
got to
good.
have some luck
That's
along
'cause
the
of
way.
coaching and culture. But for real,
Well, true.
the cautionary tale of thinking it's easy to get back, thinking you're going to be there every year, thinking this is the year, this is the team, it's never true in the NFL. And that's why Dan Campbell's post-game press conference last year was like, hey, it's tough to get back. We may never get back. I'm glad he had that mindset instead of, well, this was a building year, you know, we're going to add to it, we'll be back next year. Like, he knows how hard it is to climb that mountain. And even when you think you're at the top and in a Super Bowl, in overtime with Kansas City, San Francisco couldn't get it done.
Yeah, you know, my dad was talking. We were watching some games yesterday, and he's like, I love our coach so much. He's just such a man. But at the same time, here's this ferocious man who's really in touch with his emotions and doesn't have a problem putting them on display. When he said that at the end of last year, I think a lot of Lions fans weren't ready for him to say that. But that was the proper thing for this team.
Yeah.
This was no breaks this offseason. We have a lot to do, and there's nothing guaranteed in the NFL. We have a team that can do it. And listen, they were given every reason and every excuse this season to fail. And they're 13-2, man. And this guy has got his finger on the pulse of this team, of the egos, of the emotion. And I don't know what this guy's tapped into in Detroit here, but he just understands not only the fan base, but his players like I've seen very few coaches in my lifetime.
Yeah, well, they emulate him. I mean, that's
True
the thing.
that.
They find guys that are Dan Campbell
Great
guys,
point.
meathead on the outside, smart football players on the inside. And to your point, I mean, Dan Campbell, like, look at the picture his wife posted yesterday.
was
of
just
them-
trying to find it.
Them with the big balls, you know, I have big balls for their holiday sweaters. Like, he's got a sense of humor. And then you see him in Starbucks with a dog that fits in your palm of your hand. So, you know, he's not like, he's just like a gentle ogre. And he's brilliant. Like, a lot of times, really smart people want you to think they're stupid. And I feel like that's kind of what Dan Campbell does. Like, hey, underestimate me, please.
Yeah.
And he invites the door to be that. And here you go. Here's Holly Campbell from yesterday. I have big, beautiful balls. Like,
Who's that on the left?
that's his son.
It is, huh?
He's laughing.
He's a big
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, he's laughing.
Well, I mean, it comes from Dan Campbell stuff. Right? Like, you're going to be a
Some
big
proper
boy.
Chew-
Chewing
Stop
coffee
right
right there. That's all chewing coffee.
Yep, that's it. So,
funny.
yeah, I love Dan Campbell. I love everything that guy's about. And, you know, one of the things they're about is bringing back Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater's
Wild.
back
It's
as
wild
backup
news.
quarterback. There it is, breaking news. The Detroit Lions are expected to sign quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, fresh off his state championship coaching debut in high school out of
right,
Florida.
baby.
Good side of this, we're getting Teddy Bridgewater back. Bad side of this, what does it say about Hendon Hooker? We'll discuss the Hendon Hooker thing later. But Dan Campbell talked about bringing Teddy Bridgewater back. Let's hear from Dan.
Questions?
Start off Teddy Bridgewater news. You guys are re-adding him. Just the thought process behind that, I guess, and how long has it been in the works?
I've been in contact with Teddy for a while, and it was something that was always potentially a possibility. And we all know what Teddy's been doing down there and giving back to his community. And they won a championship down there, so his debut as coaching worked out pretty dang good. But just, to be able to add somebody back here that's got experience, he's staying in shape, he's been throwing, just get him work back in here a little bit. It just brings a level of professionalism, veteran presence, somebody that's great for our team. He's great for the position. Doesn't mean we're disappointed in Hooker. That's not what this means. It just means this gives this guy somebody that's played a lot in the NFL. We're getting ready for the playoffs, and so it'll be good to get him back in the fold with us.
Some people will read into it, that it maybe means Hooker's not ready if you need him. Just can you speak a little bit to his development, Hendon's development?
Yeah, and look, he's improved. He really has. We feel like every week he's gotten a little bit better, and this does not mean that that Hooker is out. That's not what this means. If it comes to that, Hooker's going to play for us, but Teddy probably will too. So, I understand what it looks like, but it's just a different world that we're getting ready to walk into, and we felt like this is the right thing to do, especially with somebody that I have a tremendous amount of trust with and for. He understands our offense well. The guys know him well. The coaches know him well. And he brings a certain level of comfort to us.
Is there a level of worst-case scenario, too, just given what we've seen in the playoffs in the past with multiple quarterbacks, but now we know we got the emergency option in here now. Does this kind of give you a little bit more security in the season?
Absolutely it does. Now you don't have to be concerned with that, and depending on who's inactive, you don't have to. You can get the guy to the game that you want, and if something happens, you've got your third ready to roll.
So many guys have talked about how Teddy has impacted them just by being in the building. How much of a bonus is that that he can have that kind of mentorship aspect on some of the younger players?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's great for our team. I mean, I think everybody in that locker room respects Teddy and what he stands for and the type of human being he is, but also the type of player. I mean, whenever he gets his sea legs back under him, he's going to he'll test those guys a little bit defensively, which is good in practice, and I just feel like, when you get guys that you feel like make everybody around them a little bit better, it's hard not to have those guys around or at them if you can.
Hendon made it seem like him and Teddy were really close every time we talked to each other. Is this something you kind of had to keep Hendon in the loop in, or just tell him as it comes?
No, tell him as it comes, and he'll be just fine. He's a pro. Hooker's a pro. He's been working, this isn't like we brought in a rookie free agent who's going to just jump him right now. This guy's got skins on the wall, and he's somebody that Hooker learned under as well as golf, and this will be fun.
Dan Campbell talking about the Lions' newly acquired old backup quarterback, 10-year veteran.
This is crazy.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Who had this on their bingo card today?
Nobody. It was like, hey, why don't you just go coach high school football for a year, and we'll bring you back at the end of the season.
What?
I don't have a problem with it. Listen, we're talking backup quarterback. I hope I never see Teddy Bridgewater touch a football field unless you're up 30 points in the fourth quarter. That's the only time I ever want to see this dude touch a football. So I'm not going to get too emotionally invested in this. It's a backup position. They're talking more about him being able to mentor. It is what it is. Nice insulation. Dan Campbell seems comfortable with this decision. They wanted him. They got him. Let's move on. Like I said, I don't expect him to play much. It makes me question the Hendon Hooker pick a little bit more. Am I going to throw the baby out with the bathwater with that? No, it's fine. It hasn't hurt the team to this point. But also, it's just one of those things. It's like,
Yeah, it's
That's
interesting.
like Louis C.K. Well, that's interesting.
I absolutely love this.
Like Louis C.K.
This
by the way,
is
funny
what
as hell.
Oh, yeah, like,
This-
like three black women running a pizza shop. This is interesting.
See, to me, this is the type of a move that you'd see out of a Kansas City's Chiefs team.
Yeah.
And it's going to make people scratch their heads. But assuming that we don't have the worst case scenario where we have to see one of these guys on the field, you're adding an extra coach. Okay, this guy in his career was a backup, held the clipboard most of his career, and he is a coach. He's going to help Ben Johnson and Jared Goff see the game better in game. But he's also going to be an extra arm in practice. When you look at Jared Goff, obviously you're going to have a first-team defense playing against him, but we've seen so much depth have to be used through injury here that the second team needs two different looks. And if you're playing Jalen Hurts and you're prepping for him, you're going to want to use some Hendon Hooker. If you're playing against a Stafford or you're playing against a any one of those less mobile quarterbacks, now you get to have that second team playing against a guy like Teddy. All right. Now, if the worst case scenario does happen, I don't think that you're just going to see Teddy run this team. I think you will see sprinkle in of Hendon Hooker, running situations, keepers, things like that. Again, we don't want to get to that position, but this isn't just some guy that is unfamiliar that has a good track record. This is a guy who's been in-house and understands the system, that is well-liked, that's just coming off of a head coaching job. So that's what he's coming here for. He's coming here to be a leader, a coach, and an extra arm to challenge that second defense in Allen Park.
Anson, I thought you made great points there. I also think that this is no, he did. He made great points, but I do think this is also maybe a gateway to his coaching future as well. He has a good rapport with the Lions coaching staff and
High school state champion.
There you go. And when he was here, what was it, last year? He also mentored J-Mo. He mentored Hendon Hooker. These are things that he's already used to doing, holding the clipboard, coaching these guys. So now it becomes a question of, if Goff were to go down, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't, do you put in a second-year Hendon Hooker who has no real field experience and would be in a playoff situation, or do you ride the Teddy Bridgewater, he's kind of rusty right now, hasn't really played his best ball in quite some time, but he is a veteran in the NFL? That's a question I hope we never have to answer, but it is a legitimate question.
I mean, you just got your answer. They signed Bridgewater to play him. They didn't sign him to play Hooker.
Do you think so?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think it's guaranteed.
They could have signed him as a coach if they just wanted him to coach.
Because like
right?
Anson
they
said,
could have brought him onto the coaching staff without wasting a roster spot, without pushing somebody off that 52 or 53.
True, but I think it's an in case of emergency type deal. Like
right.
Anson
but
said, I don't think
they're
it's just
telling you in emergency we're going to Teddy Bridgewater. I think this is it's case in point. Bridgewater is now your official backup
I don't
quarterback.
think it's cut and
if he,
dry.
Oh,
but
100%.
I
I know
get
Dan
you.
Campbell has to do the coach speak. This isn't an indictment on Hendon Hooker, but the fuck it isn't. Or the heck,
Fox
sorry,
too.
Fox too.
Fox too.
Yeah, beep. But to hell it isn't. Take two. But to hell it isn't. I mean, if I brought in somebody else to do the sound booth, KG, and I was like, now you go sit behind them, they're just gonna mentor you.
Well, that's different.
They're just gonna mentor. No, it's the same thing.
It's really
not.
It's really not. That's what I'm saying. If anybody in any line of work, they brought in somebody to mentor you and push you down the depth chart, that doesn't mean you're the guy anymore. And like I said, Hooker may be fine next year. He may be fine in 2 years. They just don't feel he's fine right now.
Are you leaving your Super Bowl hopes in the hands of this version of Teddy Bridgewater?
Okay,
I don't think
Let me
you
answer
are.
that. So I think that if you do see Teddy Bridgewater, worst case scenario, that you're going to see him 90 to 94% of snaps.
Okay.
I do think they'll mix Hendon Hooker in. The biggest thing, though, is what this offense is built around. Controlled passing, no turnovers, precision. That's something that Teddy still has in his game. If you put Hendon Hooker into a playoff scenario, he could have a lot of stats but turn the ball over 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Now, in 2 years, let's say something does happen to Goff or whatever, just like they did when they brought in Lamar to Baltimore, you can start to tailor this defense or offense to a little bit of a more mobile quarterback. Right now, if you bring in a guy that is looking to run a lot, it's going to mess this system up. And he's not great, and he is old, but Teddy Bridgewater can come in there and be a placeholder, Trent Dilfer type of guy that could take you to a championship because he's not going to turn the rock over. He's not going to make big mistakes in big moments. Hendon Hooker is not going anywhere. I heard a ringing endorsement of him, even though some others may not have.
3 minutes of telling us how great Teddy Bridgewater is.
Well,
I mean, that was
Hendon
3
Hooker
minutes.
too. But Hendon Hooker too.
But you have to mention him. It's like, this is
I-
my new girlfriend, but the old girl's good too.
I don't know,
She's
man.
fine. I'm not throwing her away.
But you know what? 2 years ago, when we were hearing him talking about a
It's
league,
not
we were
bad.
saying, well, he's just being nice. And at the beginning of the season, he was talking about Anzarike, and we're like, well, I sure hope you're right. This guy's never really given up on guys, and this team has been able to develop players that they draft like very few I've ever seen in my life. So I think that there is either a trade or a future for Hendon Hooker, but that future is going to need a modified offensive system.
Okay. I get it.
But you mean to tell me Ben Johnson ain't already got that? I mean, he is technically your backup before this signing.
It's the other 10 guys. It's the other 10 guys that have to change how
They
they've
block,
been playing.
how they adjust, the angles they're taking. You're right. I mean, Hendon Hooker is not as much of a pocket passer as Teddy Bridgewater.
No.
And there you go. And Dan Campbell feels comfortable with him. But once again, I hope we never even have to see him.
Hopefully,
I hope
this
he
is
stands there holding
Amen.
that clipboard full of pride. And we get to clap for him. His family's in the stands, and we never ever. Hi, Teddy on the sidelines.
Right.
Like
High
that's
school
all I
team.
ever want to see of Teddy Bridgewater.
And then the next year or two, don't be surprised if you see him on a college sideline or an NFL
I think
sideline
the Lions
as
just
a
get him into
coordinator
the-
or a coach.
The Lions
They might.
Lions just may sign him up. I mean,
They might. You never know.
We still got Brunell here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the QB coach. Yeah.
Rumors about the Chicago Bears head coaching job. We just saw some name get thrown in the ring.
A big one.
Save that for when we
A
come
big
back.
one.
We'll talk about that when we come back. But first, tell us about Les Stanford.
Listen, these guys have been doing it for so long. Our friends over at Les Stanford Chevrolet, they know that a lot of you guys might be in trouble this winter. They know that it might be time for you to get a new car, so they put together some amazing deals, and you need to beat that holiday rush. Go in, check out their Blazer EV 2LT, all-wheel drive. That's only $149 a month. What is it, like 15 years ago? Amazing, man.
do it up.
Or upgrade to the $169 a month Equinox EV LT. Listen, get to your Les Stanford today, or just click on that QR code that you see above my head. They got a massive inventory. They've also got Cadillac, Buick, and GMC as well. Les Stanford Chevrolet in Dearborn and Ferndale. LesStanford.com.
And on Sunday, January 5th, drive your new Les Stanford car over to the Second Best Bar located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports Lions pregame show, the best pregame show in all of the entire world, only at the Second Best Bar on January 5th. Come get some.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you or the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Tangerine Space Machine is the easy drinking IPA with this out-of-this-world flavor. Smooth and juicy with a refreshing crushability, take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic hazy goodness, the official beer of outer space, brewed by New Holland Brewing Company, Holland and Michigan.
Good job.
All right,
Better than
Maria.
Flannel Sam at Live Reads. That's impressive.
You're fired, Kenny.
Yep.
Me?
Yep. Well,
Sorry.
Kenny, see you later.
Live reads for you.
See you later.
It's fine with me, man.
I'm just kidding,
I need
bro.
the time off.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in, I guess, for Braylon. That is Anson filling in for Ryan Ermanni, and KG filling in for Maz.
I am. And teaching at the same time.
Yeah,
so
look at you.
That's my work right there.
There you go. You're a mentor.
Thank you.
You are our Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh. I'm only brought in to help the young talent.
He's all right.
Maria in the sound booth right now, and of course Pete holding it down on the ones and twos.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the Lions, and which led us into the Bears.
Bears.
All we've heard so far is Ben Johnson wants to be the Bears head coach. Ben Johnson's auditioning to be the Bears head coach.
Nope.
Ben Johnson's the only person that the Bears want to be the head
Nope.
coach. But today it drops a name that I like because I may consider him more than Ben Johnson if I'm hiring the next football coach of my team, and that is Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll rumored to want to be the Chicago head coach.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
What's yeesh about it?
Nothing. I'm
I mean,
just
he's
saying.
he's 78 years old, or however the hell old
He's
he
a
is.
freaking good coach. He's the last guy I want to see in the league.
He did have our number when he was the Seattle coach. That is,
It's young enough to be president.
that's true.
Right.
That's true.
Not the league, Pete, the NFC North. I don't want to see him in the NFC North.
That's
period.
what I'm saying.
So
Like,
what's scarier, Pete Carroll or Ben Johnson going to the Chicago Bears?
I would say Pete Carroll because he knows what to do. He's run a franchise. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. If I'm Ryan Poles or if I'm the owner of the Chicago Bears, I would much rather lean on the side of experience. Not to say Ben Johnson would be a bad coach, but we don't know. He's never been in that position before. As to, I know what I'm getting with Pete Carroll. And yes, he's older in age. He's probably not your long-term answer. But to right the ship or the organization for the next 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, I think Pete Carroll can be that guy. You already got a quarterback insulated. You got weapons around him. You have a solid defense. There's just things you need to tweak. So I would ultimately go with Carroll.
Well, let me say this about Pete Carroll. If he was there to start this season, so would Justin Fields. And they would have traded that first pick for proper capital.
Yeah.
Knowing Pete Carroll, championship at USC, championship with Seattle Sea Chickens, this is a guy that isn't going to be all, sweet with Catfish Caleb Williams.
No, that's
this is
a
a
fact.
guy that will get in Catfish's face, and I don't think that is the guy for Caleb. Now, ultimately, this could be a good move for the Bears, but the Bears are so stuck and so committed to the catfish being this generational quarterback that takes the lowly Bears over the top, that I don't think those two styles are going to mesh. Losing Ben Johnson to them would be far worse, in my opinion, because it's not only a plus for the Bears, but it's a huge minus for the Lions. I don't have an issue with Pete Carroll going to Chicago.
Who's more committed, Anson? The Bears to Caleb or you to the nickname Catfish?
Oh, he is definitely. It's definitely Anson.
It is 100% equal. It is as high of commitment
He keep pushing
as
that
you can come. The difference is, my friend, is
never
the
gonna
Bears
catch.
are wrong and I am right.
It's never going to catch. But to push back a little bit, you talk about, Pete Carroll may not be the right personality for a Caleb Williams. Well, I mean, he did deal with somebody by the name of Russell Wilson for quite a long time and had success with him.
Compare the two.
No, but I mean, they are kind of comparable.
Effeminate, and this is the only comparable thing.
KG's like, they're both light skins. So.
But listen, but Russ is somebody who we've heard stories about not necessarily being the most favorite in the locker room, somebody that was kind of self-absorbed at a certain point. And then when he goes to Denver and the Seahawks still have success, I think he kind of proved that, yeah, I was the one behind that. It wasn't all just Russell Wilson. I was really the mastermind behind it. But for dealing with Russell Wilson for all that time, somebody, big celebrity, married to Sierra, the guy literally had the superstar lifestyle. He was still able to win a Super Bowl with him, and almost two, if it wasn't for a boneheaded play at the goal line. So I think they're similar personalities. I think he can make it work.
Hey,
it's an interesting debate, right? Because I went from being afraid to lose Ben Johnson, which obviously you don't want to lose Ben Johnson. I'm in the camp, I don't think Ben Johnson's going to leave.
Me neither.
I think Sheila is going to step up and pay him almost head coach money. Maybe not quite head coach money, but almost head coach money. And I think Ben Johnson purely loves what he does on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know if he wants to have to worry about special teams, clock management. I don't know if he wants to have to go worry about those. And this is just me talking what I think. I have not spoken to Ben Johnson. It's just, why would you want to go from being like a sous chef at the best restaurant in the world to going to be a fry cook at McDonald's, even though you're the manager of the shift?
Is the Bears McDonald's?
Oh,
Jesus.
you'd be the shift manager at McDonald's, or you're a good sous chef at a 5-star
Maybe he's
Michelin
the
award-winning dining experience. And that's what I feel he would be doing, because you could go to all these places, but do they have the ingredients that you have here? Can you cook the same meal? They don't have a Panay Sewell in Chicago. They don't have any offensive linemen that are that athletic or that can run the trick plays, can run the sweeps, can run all that fun stuff. So if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm looking around like, man, I could live here forever. Like, why?
Maybe he could
be the king when you could be the richest prince in the land?
Maybe he could be the second shift manager at Applebee's.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's possible.
Dan Campbell would hire him.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Coming for you, Greg.
I don't know, man. With a guy like Pete Carroll that just knows the game the way he does, I feel like he would be able to correct them in the areas that they are lacking. Offensive line, Seattle, for all intents and purposes, have had decent offensive lines throughout his tenure there. I just think he'll step in and he'll know how to attack this. And when you have a GM like Ryan Poles who is willing to spend money, then I think anything's possible. They could get right very, very quickly.
If I'm Chicago, Pete Carroll's the move.
Yeah, I think he is the
I'm not taking a risk on a first-time head coach. I'm not putting that in the hands of Ben Johnson. I need someone that can stable this ship. Yeah. It's very similar. Chicago to me is very similar to what the Chargers kind of have been. Chargers probably a little more talented, just miscoached.
Yeah.
And that's a kind of feel what's going on in Chicago, because they have a good defense. They have some weapons on offense.
Talent.
They just don't have an offensive line, which kind of ruins everything in football, if you haven't noticed. So I would want someone to come in and right the ship and stable things. I wouldn't want to gamble.
Yeah. I got to take on this, Pete. I know you want to throw something in there real quick.
Well, no, I was just going to say, and also Pete Carroll has the USC blood. That may not mean anything, but, he's got the USC blood, Caleb Williams
probably
as
do
well.
have an existing relationship.
Yeah,
that is a nice
I'm just
one.
saying that might also have something to do with it as well.
Now, I got to ask you, KG, do you remember Carroll's first years in Seattle? Because he was a lightning rod. He was not successful. People said he couldn't coach at the NFL level.
Yeah.
At 78, that take, Pete, is really, really strong, because if they have a pre-existing relationship, that could really, really help out. But Pete is not a volatile guy, but he's an emotional guy. And I think that you need somebody a little more stoic for Caleb.
Yeah.
Because Caleb has never shown me that he likes constructive criticism. You see these players, you've seen coaches come up to him, and he just really kind of shirks it off. That's Eberflus. Eberflus was okay with that. Pete Carroll's not gonna be.
No, but I think he'll have a different approach because, I mean, older Pete Carroll is not the Pete Carroll that first came into the league.
He's not the one throwing mannequins of LaDainian.
Yeah, like, no.
Off the roof.
No.
You remember that?
No, but
catch us up.
If Lendell White. It was Lendell White. Did you remember that?
Lendell White,
he was coaching at USC.
Lendell White.
He had like a mannequin of Lendell White, and they pretended like they were arguing on a roof, and he chucked the thing off the roof in front of the team.
Yeah, no.
Like, what the hell?
This ain't
You've
that.
never seen that, Pete? Pete, can you find that video?
I'm going to find that.
It is one of the most bizarre coaching tactics I've ever to pretend to throw a player off a roof.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like, and even though it looked fake,
that would never fly today for sure.
It didn't fly back then.
Yeah.
Like, you literally pretended to throw a player off the roof.
He did fly.
Yeah, he did. It literally flew. Good dad joke with Pete with the dad joke coming in clutch.
But this ain't that Pete Carroll though.
No.
If you ask most people that recently played in Seattle when he was there in the latter years, they would tell you, yeah, he's a player's guy. He's a guy that's, approachable. You can have a conversation with him. Yes, he will probably get in your grill when something goes wrong, but he's not overdoing it. And I think he does have enough touch to deal with a delicate personality like a Caleb Williams, because I do agree he does need somebody that's gonna be a little hard on him and show him tough love, but not overdo it, because that's when you're gonna lose him essentially. But,
so the Pete Carroll Bears in 2025, are they a playoff team?
Oh, that's
a good question.
The NFC North is pretty damn good, though. That's the problem.
The biggest problem is Caleb, man. That guy's going to be a great coach for the rest of that team because they got talent. They got good young players.
Yeah.
Caleb is such an enigma. I don't know who the right coach is for him. Period.
I get that. But if they were to bring a Pete Carroll in, then the clock starts on a Caleb Williams.
You know who the perfect coach for Caleb Williams is? Mike McDaniel.
I think so. He would be a good coach.
I see that.
They could saunter in together with their little man purses. They could be wearing their capris together.
Mike
on the
McDaniel,
beach.
man.
Like they would be the perfect, like, hi, let's go play football, boys.
Let's go get our hair done together.
Right. Like they go get perms together.
Right.
Mike McDaniel got a little edge to him. Let's not do that. But I just don't think.
But Caleb doesn't, is what you're saying.
No, he doesn't.
All right.
I think that's pretty clear. You keep trying to push that, but I just think that I don't think Miami's going to get rid of Mike McDaniel. All things considered, because it's not really his fault that Miami is.
No. But I'm just talking flamboyancy. If there's the only flamboyant coach in the league I could see handling Caleb is Mike McDaniel.
True, but if you can't get that, you are better off leaning on experience, and I think Pete Carroll could be that guy. Like you said, the USC connection. We don't know.
That's intriguing.
That does make a lot of sense. Pete, where are we going from here? What do I got to tell you about?
KDK, my friend.
KDK.
Divorce.
Jawohl.
Divorce. Is that me?
Yeah. No, actually, that's the gentleman to your right.
I'll be happy to tell you
your
about
left.
the team. All right. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law right here in Birmingham. They've got your back if you are dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or any other family law issue. Listen, I know that stuff is scary, but these guys have over 10 years of experience and that ever important 24/7 availability. See that code right there above my head? Give it a scan or give them a call.
Divorce!
248-971-0476. But when you do that, make sure that you mention Woodward Sports sent you, because they'll take care of that filing fee. KDK Law, they got your back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you or the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
New Year's Eve is coming up, and you got to look your best. So you can just walk into one of the many, many Lady Jane's locations in Metro Detroit. You don't need an appointment. You just walk in 7 days a week and take advantage of that $20 haircut special they got right now, which includes that scalp massage, the hot lather neck shave, and of course the hot towel treatment. So come on in, sit back, relax, let one of Lady Jane's amazingly talented hairstylists get you looking right before New Year's Eve. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, once again, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, because it's wicked awesome.
Hey, welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, day after Christmas edition. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. That is Anson Wells, filling in for Braylon Edwards today. KG, filling in for Maz. We have the Maria in the sound booth, doing a great job. And then, of course, Pete.
It's just Pete.
Pyro.
And then Pete. And then there's Pete. Talking a little bit about the head coaching position in Chicago for the Bears, obviously. The only reason I care about it is because Ben Johnson's name's attached to it. Otherwise, I don't really give a damn what the Bears are doing.
Right.
Pete Carroll has expressed interest in the Bears head coaching job. Would like to return to the sideline next season, according to ESPN.
It still matters because it's NFC North, so you got to pay attention to it.
It's relatable. It's something we got to talk about. But honestly, mostly because of Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
To me, Ben Johnson was the leading candidate until this happened.
Right.
And now it's like, oh, well, Ben Johnson may not be the top dog anymore, and that's good for us in Detroit.
I wouldn't
want to
say
keep
that,
Ben
but
Johnson.
maybe not for the Bears, but I mean, Ben Johnson has been selective in where he wants to go anyway. He's not just going to take any job. Otherwise, he would have been gone already.
But the thing is, what job's better than what he has right now?
And do you
not a lot of situations.
And where do you go as a head coach that's already winning? There aren't many positions, so he's got to go start the rebuild all over when he's finally got all the toys in the garage.
True,
no
but
way.
if you're a first year
no
coach,
way am I doing that.
If you're a first year coach, you might kind of want that because that pretty much solidifies you. That puts your name, as one of those guys. If you can turn it around.
What's the shelf life of that though? Because we've seen offensive coordinators go to the head coaching position, struggle maybe after 2 to 3 years, and then be out of coaching altogether.
No, the NFL is not for long. You're not going to get very long to make your mark on the team.
So why not be a Eric Bieniemy for the run and hang out for 9 years at OC and then go try to do your thing and fail?
I mean,
listen, with all love and respect for Ben Johnson, nothing about his demeanor strikes me as a head coach. This is a quiet cat with a more introverted personality. Nothing about him screams head coaching candidate outside of his effectiveness play calling. So as you guys mentioned, does he want to get involved with special teams? Does he want to have to deflect for his players and on the podium? Does he want to hand out game balls? Does he want to be in the back room with the GM making all these decisions and having all that weight fall on him?
Or does he want to walk in on a Monday and be like, can you fumble the ball, Jared Goff, and pick it back up? I was thinking about this weekend.
And mind you, this team, this offense is basically locked in through 2026. They're going to add a couple offensive linemen, but all the toys, these possible future Hall of Fame toys in Amon-Ra St. Brown, in Sam Laporta, in J-Mo, in Jahmyr Gibbs, in Jared Goff. These guys are here now. This is the offense he's created, the most exciting offense in the NFL. And I mean, There's a lot of scenarios of success that you can leave behind. This one is just too damn good. And he is not the type of guy that I see fitting in anywhere he goes, laying down the hammer and changing a program around. This is a guy who has gotten it nearly perfect, and he wants to see it through. I don't even think a Super Bowl win this year would chase him off.
Really?
Yep. Sleep on that.
That's the one, because I feel like if they don't get it done, he will stay, like, regardless of what happens. But I mean, you can make that argument, but if you're going for a head coaching gig, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be for a losing team. You're not just going to go be a coach for a winning program or a program that's like ready to win right now. 9 times out of 10, you are going to get one of the lower jobs. But when you're a coordinator in the NFL, I would say maybe about 80% of coordinators want to be future head coaches. So while this situation is a very, very good situation, and you can put his name as to who's responsible for why the offense got so good over the last 3 years, it would be Ben Johnson's name. But ultimately, I do think his aspirations are to be a head coach, and that's why he's so selective in what situation he's going to go to, because he wants to hit the ground running and succeed wherever he goes.
I know he wants to be a head coach, right?
Yeah.
He was a tight ends coach 2 years ago. The ascension's going to come. You don't have to rush it, right?
No, you don't, which is why he hasn't taken a job to this point. He could have had a job last year.
Yeah, I know he could have, but man,
if he really wanted it, he could have.
What he was looking at as offers, probably not the best. Well, I guess Washington probably would have been, even though he canceled on them while they were in the air on an airplane. You gotta love that. And head coaching is hard.
It is.
Just ask the Red Wings former head coach who got canned the day after Christmas. Derek Lalonde, he out of here. Now listen. Hockey is probably my 4th favorite sport of all the major sports.
But he brought in a good guy, though.
And all I heard from people who do know hockey, like Darren McCarty, like young Justin, and like the people around this network, was this guy had to go.
Yeah.
And all I heard was that the energy on the team was not there. And the fact that they had a multi-year contract ready to go for another guy on the same day says to me, this guy's been a dead man walking at least for a minimum a month, right? Because it takes lawyers back and forth, contracts, negotiations. We're going to sign this. Stevie Y has been doing backdoor deals behind his head coach for at least a month, which kind of gives me a little weird feeling. Like, if you knew this wasn't the guy a month ago, just rip the Band-Aid off. I don't know why you waited, but
they should have fired him in the offseason.
Stevie Y is Stevie Y. He gets the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure he has his reasons, but the Red Wings get Todd McLellan as their coach, who is an above 500 coach in the NHL.
Yep.
A Mike Babcock guy.
Yeah,
He's a Babcock guy.
D-Mac spoke highly of him on Big D Energy. He said that he was an assistant coach during their 08 championship run.
He got a title.
And he went to coach the San Jose Sharks after that.
Yep.
He's somebody with a long track record experience, and he said he's somebody that will command the locker room. He's not just going to come in and, be a Derek Lalonde, in which it seemed like the players were kind of disconnected from him.
You could tell. I mean, with the effort on the ice. But this kind of goes back to the Pete Carroll conversation. Do you want a guy who has NHL experience, or do you want to bring in a guy who's never coached at that level, at that position, like they did with Lalonde? He was He was from the Griffins and came in, and then the coach before him was Blashill wasn't a head coach in the NHL before the Red Wings got him. So they're going a different route.
All goalies too.
They have a young, talented team.
Yeah.
If D-Mac agrees with it, I'm all in.
No doubt. I got a question for you, though, Stick.
No?
Boxing or hockey?
For what?
Number 4.
Oh. Whoa.
Aren't they the same? Don't they combine?
They used to. They used to.
Not so much these days.
No, for real. Boxing?
I mean, listen, boxing is... If we're talking 1980s, 1990s, I'm going
okay,
hockey.
UFC.
Even the 2000s was good.
UFC is much bigger than hockey.
No, I'm saying is your number 4 sport.
I've sought out to watch more UFC fights than I have hockey games, yes.
There it is.
And that's the way I like decipher my fandom. NFL, I'll watch any game, any team from any city play at any time.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball, I'll watch the
cities.
Pistons play any game, anywhere, anytime.
15 years ago, that might have been a different story.
Yeah, baseball, I really only care about the Tigers, but I'm not watching every game of the Tigers.
Yep.
And then you go hockey, unless the Red Wings are in the playoffs, I don't really care.
That's the truth.
And that argument, by the or that
that's
question, by the way, that's like generational based. That's a generational base.
Yeah.
Because boxing in the 70s, in my day, that was romantic.
That was the heyday.
Oh, man, the 80s too. The 80s were fantastic,
No, the
and even
80s
the early
too,
90s.
But then after that, after like Tyson and Riddick Bowe and all those guys and
the
Lennox
advent
Lewis,
of-
it's been all
and the advent
downhill.
of
2000s
UFC
boxing
and Pride.
was still pretty good. Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver,
Sure, but it was competing with Pride fighting.
But
in
boxing
UFC.
killed itself. Can we admit that? Like,
but
boxing, you would
promoters
always,
killed boxing.
But that's itself.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
killed itself
yeah.
from the inside. I want to
Promoters
see
killed
number
boxing.
one versus number two. You weren't ever going to get that in boxing
'Cause
anymore.
it's too much,
You're going to get number
politicking.
one when he's 10 years older.
Right,
against, like
right.
you always got
It's too much
boxing
politics.
mashups 5 to 10 years after you actually wanted them. Like,
This is why Logan
Yeah,
Paul is
that's
popular.
true.
Say what you want about
Right.
the kid. Not Logan, Jake Paul. That's why he's popular, because he gives fans the fights they want to see, whether they're good fights or not. He was going to give
Well,
it to
then
them.
that's why MMA's popular.
Yeah, right. There you
Dana
go.
White's going to make one fight two, no matter
no,
what, on this
exactly.
card.
Yeah, that's
And
a fact.
And that's why MMA is so much better. I get to see the fights I want. The
For
problem
the
with
most part,
MMA
yeah.
is you could get knocked out and beat so easily in so many different ways. It's hard for them to sustain a star holding onto that belt for 2 to 3 years now, like it used to be in boxing.
Right.
You don't get those long-term winners anymore.
That's the thing, exactly.
Because MMA, this guy's a great boxer, he's going to win, but this guy can submit him and break his effing
And say
leg.
what you want about boxing. That Tyson Fury Alexander Usyk fight was pretty
And
good
a lot more
last Saturday.
and
The
a lot
Fury
more-
fights have been the best of the last 10 years.
No doubt.
And a lot more pros are busting now. That they're like more busts nowadays. They're and not, like you said, not holding titles for more than like 2 years.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing that held the MMA back early on, because you had Pride fighting, you had UFC, you had all these things. I mean, who knows what belt goes where in boxing at this point? There's so many different entities that recognize
It's the
different
four-belt
things.
era.
WBC,
That's another thing, right?
MMA has come all together into one major sport league, and that's what everybody's watching. So, I mean, hockey in this town, this is hockey town, and if we can get a winner, I'll be watching it again.
We're hockey town like Green Bay's title town.
True
That's,
that.
that's
This
an
is
old
football
name
town,
for a
baby.
different
No
time.
No
This
doubt.
is NFLville. Welcome. Where are we going, Pete?
We're going to go
Sabbath
do a
coffee?
little Sabbath coffee action.
Cannot
and
start
you
out
can
by
fuel
the
your
roasters.
Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
Hey.
Whether you're gearing up for a
Hi,
big
everybody.
game or saving a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door.
Hey.
Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use the code word Woodward, and you'll get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We'll be right back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you will. You guys
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Into any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you or the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The Salvation Army, everybody. You see that QR code over to my right? Well, scan that QR code, and when you give to the Salvation Army, your donation makes it possible to to serve out our community's most vulnerable 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The Salvation Army of Metro Detroit's 2024 Red Kettle Christmas campaign fundraising goal is $7 million. Your contributions will help provide love beyond Christmas to the individuals in need of food, shelter, and compassion. You can scan that QR code, like I say, to my right on the screen, or go to donate.sagreatlakes.org to make that special donation. Gentlemen, back to you guys.
Yeah, shout out to the Salvation Army, man. We did a broadcast out in Novi with the heavyweights on Monday, and they got to interview one of the people that work inside the Salvation Army, and just great work that they do, man. Getting presents to kids and needy people. And I know one of our buddies that was homeless and now has worked his way up to be a millionaire. He got back on his feet because of the Salvation Army. They helped him get his bills paid, like his power turned back on and stuff like that. And that was 15 years ago, so good people at the Salvation
And Woodward
Army.
Sports did a bell ringing campaign for the Salvation Army at Hollywood Market. We did extremely well. Maz, myself, Chase, and Kool-Aid were out there at the Hollywood Market. We did really, really well then. Thanks for everybody to coming out who supported us on that.
Yeah, good job, Pete. Way to be a leader in the community, fine,
right.
sir.
Well,
way to
Sports.
use your platform, Pete.
Woodward Sports is a leader in the community.
Yeah, you know who's not? LeBron James. And LeBron James, if he's not crying on the court, he's crying off the court. And what's he crying about today, Pete?
I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day.
There you go.
Then play like it, loser.
Christmas is our day. This guy thinks he's Jesus. Jesus' day, LeBron. Not yours.
Jesus.
He is the chosen one, apparently. It says it on his back.
Jesus never flopped.
Damn.
Oh, my God.
Ever. Jesus was anti-flop when he was on the court. Killer crossover, though.
Hey, listen, if you got something to chime in, chat on LeBron James or anything over this last hour, hit us with one of those super chats, and we will be sure to read
got one
your chat on the air.
From Dante151, who has already chimed
Dante.
in with a super chat, but it's not about the NBA. It goes back to what we were talking about. Dante151, as usual, thank you for your $10 super chat. That's why I love All Elite Wrestling. It's so different from WWE that I don't have an idea of who's going to win, and an AEW match, unlike WWE, where you know who's going to win in the end. Also, go Lions. Thank you, Dante151, for your super chat.
Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, that's a DMAC thing, man.
Really? I'm going to have to look into that.
That's that gritty stuff.
Gritty.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I watched that Mr. McMahon recently, and then I doubled down and watched the Ric Flair documentary. And, you know, because I was a WWF kid in the 80s. How could you not be? And honestly, like, wrestling is real. It's what do they call that?
What are we doing?
When you create
Where are we going? What are we doing,
It's
Anson?
choreographed, they say now. But these dudes are athletes, man.
Oh, yeah, they're the best stuntmen in the world.
But
that's what they are.
The lower class wrestling, that stuff's amazing to watch.
DMAC takes, like, lights to the face.
He's a wrestler in that league?
Yes.
Dude, you've never seen
You've
that?
never seen him wrestle?
We'll have to go out with DMAC and do that. But let's
I
get
need
back
to
to
see.
bitch-ass LeBron.
Thank you.
I was trying to skip past that loser.
No, I really just want to talk about what he brought up, is that Christmas Day is for the NBA, not the NFL. Do you think that the NFL is overstepping and overreaching? Because I got to be honest, those games yesterday, all winning teams, should have been great matchups. I was kind of excited to watch, but it kind of fell to the background and got lost in what I was doing, opening up presents with the kids, driving to the grandparents' house, doing all that kind of fun stuff. Did they announce the ratings for the Netflix
They have
yet?
not. I'm going to be looking for that, though.
So it's going to be interesting to see how many people actually turned it on, which I'm sure is quite a lot. It's just, do you think the NFL is doing too much?
No, I don't. I don't like the fact that they pushed a bunch of 4 teams into a Saturday game and then brought them back on Wednesday. That's what they had to do, though, in order to have a game on a Wednesday. For me, you're looking at a league, and the NBA is my first love. As much as I love the NFL, the NBA is it for me. But this is a league that is down viewership 48% since 2012.
Ugh.
And at the end of the day, this is a business. They're both businesses. You give the people what they want. The product wasn't great. Product's not great on Thursday Night Football, but we still tune in.
Right.
You know,
but it's one game, right?
Sure. And realistically, whatever it was, whether it was basketball or whether it was football, it was always on in the background during Christmas for me because my mom didn't want me watching the game the whole time.
Right.
So the only drawback for me was that I wasn't as attentive to these two games. Obviously, if they were closer, it would have been a little bit of a different
That's the
story.
thing. Like the first half, I was interested in the Steelers Kansas City game. Like it was an interesting
Very
first
close
half.
game.
But then by the fourth quarter, blowout. Okay, I'm checked out of this game.
Yep.
And then the next game was just an abomination.
Yeah.
I mean, what the Ravens did on that game was pretty spectacular.
I think from a selfish point, I was in transit. I never even got a chance to turn on the second game. I didn't see the score until afterwards. I was relieved that I didn't spend any time on a bad game like that. So I guess personally, yeah, maybe I'm going to get a better chance to watch the games tonight and not be distracted.
Right.
But listen, the NBA is down. People don't want to watch it right now, and the NFL knows that. So they stuck their foot in the door, and this isn't a trend that's going anywhere. Realistically, I think we're going to see the NFL all 7 days of the week going forward for the next 10 years. A Tuesday game, Friday game, it doesn't matter. These guys, they know they got the best league in the nation, and they're going to make money on it, especially when the NBA is down.
Why do you think the NBA is down? I mean,
so many reasons, brother.
I'm with you. There's a ton of reasons. To me, the most recent reason is that it's just turned into an NBA All-Star game style of play every single game. And I don't want to be old man yelling at the cloud like, back in my day, they played defense. But back in my day, they played defense. Now I'm watching everybody chuck up three-pointers, 50, 60 a game.
Do you know how
from
many
guys who shouldn't even be shooting three-pointers? Right. And, like, as sweet as Wemby is, right? It's nice to have a 7-footer. Wouldn't you rather see him banging on the blocks and dunking over people than hanging out around the three-point line?
He does that too, though. He does that too. Well, you got to listen until that guy's body fills out.
When him and Cat were going
him.
at it, you wanted to see big men.
Yes.
And what I got was 2 7-footers thinking they are guards.
Who runs a post game outside of Joker now? Do you know how many, and I love the postgame like you just mentioned, do you know how many threes the Boston Celtics average per game? Take a guess.
40?
Up.
45?
51, bro.
It's boring.
51. Now that's the best team in the league, the returning champions, defending champions. This is the team that you want to watch, but they are boring to watch. You add in the fact that you're trying to compare GOATs from different eras when one could get hand-checked, hammered going into the lane, and actually, yeah, Jordan took a couple extra steps, but he sure didn't get the free-floating traveling
also
that
took some
constantly
elbows.
happens now. But then you go even deeper, and you go back to the bubble. Listen, Colin Kaepernick was not good for the NFL. And the whole stuff that happened in the bubble and a lot of the politics that are coming back, Popovich, who's our most legendary coach remaining in the NFL or NBA right now, going on, Steve Kerr and these guys attacking politics. Listen, we didn't turn on the NBA to hear about the election. We turned on the NBA to get away from all of this stuff in our life. And the NBA has become so politicized. You get thrown out of a game for falling over a guy right now. We just saw that. And it's become such a politically charged environment with a watered-down game that has no physicality, while guys, like you said, that have no business chucking threes are doing it. What happened to dunking? What happened to the postgame? What happened to actual hard fouls and not getting kicked out?
Prime example.
It's so hard to watch, bro.
Right here in our very hometown of Detroit, Michigan, Isaiah Stewart. Never, ever, ever should Isaiah Stewart be working on his three-point game.
Truth.
But you know what he did 2 off seasons ago so he could get more minutes? He worked on his three-point game.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah effing Stewart. That's like Jason Maxiell working on it. That's like Ben Wallace working on it. Why are we doing this? It's okay that you're not a three-point shooter. It's just they want to spread the floor. Oh, you can't spread the floor at the 5? We're not going to play you anymore. And to me, that's the biggest problem in the game. And what you're talking about the politics, yeah, I think all of us at nauseum were like, okay. Like,
what would you do
like, we get the messages. Can I just tune in to watch my favorite sport?
Can you give me one simple change to improve the NBA right now?
Simple change?
Just a rule,
I would lax the defensive rules. I'd allow hand checking back in the game.
I like that. There's been an interesting thought that I've heard thrown around, and that is to, how the three-point line down towards the baseline actually turns off and goes in straight. So basically, a lot of people have talked about just keeping the parabolic arc until it hits
the edge.
So there isn't the corner 3. Because one of my things that I hate the most about the NBA, and it started 15 years ago, is the wild drive to the hoop and the kick to the corner. And I mean, how many missed corner 3s have the Pistons shot this year?
That's my favorite shot in basketball, though.
You love that?
I love the corner 3. Because it's such a great shot. There's no backboard. You're taking a huge gamble. I love that shot.
Pete, do me a favor. See if you can find the NBA shot chart from 2012 to today.
Okay.
And you will see that the mid-range jumper is no longer a part of the NBA.
Rip Hamilton who?
Yeah, that's it. He was the last of a dying breed. And that's to me, that's part of the reason is there's just... The game is three-pointer or nothing, three-pointer or nothing, three-pointer or nothing, and I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see guys going at it. I want to see physical basketball with some of the best specimens on the planet. Now it's just a touch foul game, and blame LeBron. I blame LeBron.
I'd also like to see the Euro step gone. I think that's one of the biggest divisive rules in the NBA between the old generation and the new generation. Obviously, we've seen the game evolve to a three-point shooting, less defensive, physical-minded thing. But when it comes down to watching guys be able to take advantage of these extra steps that they do, hopping around before they even put the ball on the floor, that drives old heads up a wall. And then when you're trying to compare what LeBron has done to guys in the past, you get a full extra step and a hop to accomplish what you're doing. Of course, defense isn't going to be good because how do you defend that? And that drives so many older fans up a wall while you already have a whole host of politicized and other things in the NBA, guys being best friends on bitter rivals. It just is more to drive the older people that got the NBA to where it did in the 80s and 90s to what this generation is doing with it now.
Stick, here you go. Here's an older post from 2020. I'll try to find a newer post, but this is kind of going to what you're talking about.
No, I think this is the exact one that I saw.
Oh, okay.
This is the exact. Look at that spray chart. Top 200 shot locations in the NBA, 2001 to 2002 versus 2019 and 2020. Look at that. Absolutely zero along the baseline. Absolutely zero at the elbow. None at the free throw line. None at the top of the key. None of it. That right there, that is the graphic of why the NBA sucks now. That's it. That's all I need to see.
That's concrete evidence and proof right there.
By the way, did you notice one thing about that? It's just me and my fraternity thing. Look at the middle finger over there under 2019, 2012.
Straight to the fans, baby. Straight to the fans.
I'm always a fraternity boy.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
But that's
that was it.
That's why you're seeing maybe an eighth of the court used now instead of 80% of it.
Indisputable proof. Yep. Through photos.
Yep. Thank you for finding that, Pete.
Pleasure.
That's the exact graphic that I wanted to talk about. We got Dr. Pierce here. We're going to talk to him coming up next.
Yeah.
Khalif Raymond.
Yeah.
His practice window has opened for the Detroit Lions. So I want to talk to him about Khalif's injury, some other updates. Maybe we'll get some Montgomery updates, and of course Hutchinson updates. Who he was out doing God's work yesterday, delivering gifts with his sister at the Mott Children's Hospital. Shout out to Luann, the director out there. They do great work for the kids. Where are we going, Pete?
We got the new Holland. Well, we got the Woodward in Maine, and we got the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show. So Woodward in Maine is going to be Monday this week, and it's going to be hosted by, as usual, the great Terry Reginald Foster III and Matthew Broder. Woodward in Maine, the Lions preview show will be coming up this Monday morning here at Woodward Sports as they preview Lions at the San Fran 49ers. And then we'll have the Lions pregame show brought to you by the New Holland Brewing Company as the great Neil Rule and Sean Belegian will get you ready for Lions at 49ers for Monday Night Football. And it is brought to you by the New Holland Brewing Company Tangerine Space Machine 1800 Tequila, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Sabbath Coffee Roasters. And my friends, we will be right back.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward in Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you or the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Those crispy honey biscuits. You guys hear me talk about them every time we talk Soroki's. But they've also got the best crispy chicken and pizza around. And you've only got maybe a month or 2 left with their fresh signature flavored wings. They last through the football season. If you haven't tried these things out, they will flat out blow your mind. I'm already sweating over these things going away because they are that good. So grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, get some of that crispy honey biscuits, add the fresh wings for the games this weekend, and of course, get yourself all prepped up for Monday night. You can try one of those 7 different flavors on those signature wings. Everything they've got is proper awesome. Signature wings, pizza, biscuits. Got to go back to the biscuits. Sorokis.com, give them a visit, and let them set your weekend up.
All right, welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Braylon in this seat. That is Anson, filling in for Ryan Ermanni in that seat. KG left. Why not? Of course, we have Maria in the sound booth now, doing her best KG impression. Thank you, Maria. And then, of course, Pete is here, and Dr. Pierce is here. He's going to be joining us next segment. But I want to talk a little bit about the Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. 2 guys with updates Dan Campbell spoke about this afternoon. Of course, that is Jalen Reeves-Maybin and Khalif Raymond. Here's what Uncle Dan had to say.
Trending toward Reeves-Maybin possibly getting back this week. Is there anybody else that could possibly join that list?
It's too early to say. We're going to start Khalif's clock. I guess you guys saw that. So he'll start practicing, and we'll see where he's at. I don't feel as confident with him as I do Germ, but it's good to have him back out practicing. It will be good to get him back out there running around.
So there you go. Khalif Raymond opening his practice window. When Dr. Pierce gets in here, we'll kind of talk about that hamstring injury and how fast we should expect him to get up to speed. That's another weapon in this offense that we kind of forgot about, honestly. And in the return game, that's probably where Khalif Raymond made the biggest difference, especially against the Tennessee Titans. That was a wild game. So we'll find out about that. But Jalen Reeves-Maybin, they opened his clock last week. Now we're talking about practicing with him. One of your better special teams player, if not your best special teams player. Plays linebacker, but can also cover if you need him to. To me, that's a big addition to the defense and this team when Jalen Reeves-Maybin comes back.
Yeah, you're helping two portions of this team in special teams and in the defensive side of the ball. But this guy's a leader. As good as his play is, this guy is a leader both for the linebacking core as well as special teams. So this guy was written in as a starter week 1, and we didn't have. This team's getting healthy, Stick.
Yeah, and that's what people are getting excited about, which gets me excited, but also gets me frustrated.
Well, yeah, because 2 weeks ago,
I had to calm everybody down. I had to
call
everybody. It was walking around like this team was shot in the leg, never going to be able to, and it's like, okay, we're dealing with some adversity. You're dealing with it. But wouldn't you rather deal with it in week 14 and 15 than week 18? Like, this is better. Like, not as it's ever good with all those injuries. You never want all those injuries, but you'd rather get them when you got them than get them right before the playoffs. And the Lions are now trending up on the health. They're getting their full roster back because last game, little blue tent. Anybody see it on our sideline? No little blue tent. Hate you, little blue tent. Never want to see you again for the rest of the season, little blue tent.
I hate you, little blue tent.
I hate that little blue tent. That thing has become like the biggest rival of the Lions this year. It's that stupid little blue tent. But this is what's exciting now. Now I feel like last game was so needed for this Lions fan base, not the Lions team. Because you heard Dan Campbell, you heard AG, you heard Penei Sewell. They didn't stop their mission for a second. Because that's what these guys are about. But the fans. It was even, Spenny and Easy talking in here. Well, no, there's just no way they can win it. I think they can get there, but I don't know now. Vegas still had him as number 2 to win the Super Bowl. I believe they're back up to number 1 to win the Super Bowl again this week.
Yes, sir.
So all of a sudden, the Lions are the favorite. What changed in 2 weeks? Who did they get back that's so earth-shattering? No. They didn't get anybody like an Aiden Hutchinson back, but they're getting better. People saw that they could figure it out in Chicago without all the pieces. And I'm just so happy. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for this playoff run. I think everything's happening at the right time. You're getting healthy. You're getting special teams guys back. You're getting your grit guys back. You're getting your mortar guys back. This is what you need going into the playoffs. And the Lions are going to be hitting the ground at full speed, which I love. And this week, we're going to get a little taste of a little bit more healthy.
That's right. We're going to get a big taste of more healthy. And for the game that has the darkest circle on Dan Campbell's calendar.
Yeah.
We've talked a bunch about how this team is the best at revenge that we can recall. If you lose a week beforehand, you better believe that the Lions are going to give you that Honolulu screw, all right? If you they beat you last year, they've got you circled on their calendar this year. We saw what happened in Dallas.
Yeah.
Not only did they insult them, but they injured them and they embarrassed them. The trick plays, Chris Christie was crying about it. So what we're going to see in San Francisco is, well, we're favored by 3.5 points, so that's a little over a touchdown right there, 6.5, 7 points. So we are certainly favored. I would take the Lions without the points, or with the points even going away the other way, over under 50.5. Don't be surprised when you see the Lions score 52 on their own. We are going to see special sneak trick plays. We are going to see offensive linemen catch touchdowns. We are going to see the Honolulu screw to San Francisco, and it might be an air ender like we talked earlier with KG.
Yeah, and during the Lions post-game show, which we do from Hayes Social during every Lions game, so Monday night coming out, 21 Mile and Hayes in Shelby Township. I'd love to have you out there. My prediction this week was we were going to see Hendon Hooker. I lied. We're going to see Teddy Bridgewater. I'm sorry. I was wrong.
True.
I did not know.
True. That's a good call.
The coach.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But, they're going to go out there with the mindset of these guys stole something that was ours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly – you were up 14 points. It was at 17 or 14. I try to block that game out in my memory. Out of all the games I haven't rewatched, that's one game I'll never rewatch.
Oh, you haven't?
No, you can't
I
watch
will
that.
not.
Oh, wow.
I will not. It's like,
I feel you.
It's like watching your girl cheat on you. You can't do it. You just can't do it.
See, I've actually watched the Phantom Foul 88 Game 7 for the Pistons and the Bird Steals the Ball Game 5 in Boston in 87. I have tormented myself with those games, and it's really shocking to me to hear that you haven't watched that at all, because I know you love going back. But I will tell you this, the Lions have watched that game quite a few times, and the adjustments that they're bringing, the anger and retribution they're bringing to the Bay Area on Monday night is going to be something to behold. Because Lions fans, I've said for a couple years now, you got to hold yourselves to the same high bar that Dan Campbell is holding his players to. Stick, you alluded to it. These last 2 weeks, we've watched a lot of Lions fans jump on and off and back on the bandwagon again.
It's hard suffering 2 losses in a season.
Well, especially when you're a beaten lover.
Hard.
You're a beaten lover.
2 whole losses.
Yeah, but again, this fan base, it's very hard for them to understand and embrace success. So it's going to be up and down. But if there's anything that's going to bring everybody together, it's not an easy win over the Bears. It is an absolute embarrassment of the Niners in San Francisco Monday night before the nation.
And Dan Campbell spoke about it. Hey, what if Green Bay beats Minnesota and there's really not much to play for in that Niners game? And he doubled down. He's like, listen, we're going to battle. We're taking everybody to battle, and we are going to pillage. Like, essentially, that's what they're going to do. A bunch of dudes just getting off the bus, ready to take what's theirs. So even if the Vikings lose on Sunday and the Lions know they're playing with house money on Monday, I still think the motivation of last year is
100.
Like, if they were playing the Tennessee Titans, you'd be like, oh, man, they could let down. Who knows? But it's like, no. Not only are we getting what we want this year, we got to make up for what you took from us last year.
Yeah.
And they are going to go in there and rip the soul out of these guys.
And as fans, we always think that these teams are circling dates on their calendar, and I know that they do. But I've never seen a team put it to guys that recently beat them or coming off of a loss. This team is just so fun, and they're so angry, and they're so real, Like these guys that weren't here for the last 70 years of failure are taking that 70 years on their shoulders. They know the fans, what we've dealt with, and they're acting like they've been through it their whole lives too.
And that's a credit to Dan Campbell.
True.
Because, you can use your history as an excuse or you can use it as motivation. And he's turned this into motivation. Look what you're supplying for this city. And let's be honest, Dan Campbell was on the 0-16 team. If anybody understands, if anybody feels what we feel as fans' pain, it's Dan Campbell.
There's nothing more poetic than that. And he will wear a Super Bowl ring. He will host a Lombardi Trophy at some point in his tenure here with the Detroit Lions. And to understand what it means for a big galoot at tight end to go 0-16 and want to come back, but then come back and bring the attitude and change the culture that was needed, and then win the way he's been winning, it's so poetic.
I love you, Dan Campbell. Thank you for coming to Detroit.
No doubt.
And honestly, just how it all came together, I'll never understand how it worked, because usually you hire a head coach before a GM. It's kind of a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
These two came together like they were just meant to be. It's like the heavyweights finding themselves here at Woodward Sports. They weren't friends before this. They didn't even know each other, but they bumped into each other in the hallway, and it's like, oh my God, we're going to click for the rest of our lives. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, same dude. Just the same dude.
And shout out Chris Spielman, man. We cannot mention enough what you did.
Yep. I found a cool Chris Spielman autograph in my basement.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I got to maybe I'll bring that in tomorrow.
Bring it in.
I have a Lions calendar from 1991.
Oh, nice, dude.
And a cool story about it. My uncle used to work for GM over in Russia. So when they come back here, he worked on the emission standards in Russia and stuff, trying to help them transfer from diesel to unleaded. But either way, when he'd come back here in town, they'd always stay at the Hilton Suites out by the Silverdome. And so holiday time, I'd always go out there and hang out with them. And the Lions just so happened to be meeting at the same hotel they were staying in. And I sat outside their meeting room with my calendar at 10 years old. And the whole team signed. I'm talking Jerry Ball, Chris Spielman, Spindler, all those guys. Some of them signed on their birthday. It's one of my favorite pieces of memorabilia because I physically sat there as a 10-year-old asking all these guys for their autographs. It was a really cool thing. Cool. But we got Dr. Pierce coming up next. What do we got to talk about, Pete?
There you go.
Hey, listen. New Holland Brewing Company is not done with the pregame show. They are carrying it over, and we are at Hayes Social in Shelby Township for the watch party with the heavyweights. Listen, they start right when the game starts. They're going to be carrying you through the whole way, but you should be joining us. Of course, you're going to be watching, but if you get a chance to come and join us. And Maria, you're in Macomb, so you got it.
Yeah, no excuses,
it's real
Maria.
nice and close. And you too, Pete, you East Sider, you better be there as well. But listen, the food is amazing. Give them a call and reserve your table for your friends and family. This is the #1 venue in Metro Detroit to catch any sporting event.
It's true.
Listen, we got the fight song, the Lions fight song. We got the big horn going on. I had such a blast last week that we've already doubled down and booked a couple more tables for our crew. But it's not over with the watch party. The longest running show in Woodward, post-game show. That's my man Stick to my right and myself. We will be talking about the drubbing of the San Francisco 49ers in front of the nation on Monday night, courtesy of our Detroit Lions. That is, once again, at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. It's the
longest live read ever, man.
This one always is.
You just outspent the bet.
This one always is.
All right, join us. Yeah, Loop. All right, let's go to commercial.
Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. You guys calling everybody.
This guy's got a hot girl. Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you or the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness, with over 50-plus locations in the Metro Detroit area alone. You'll experience a squeaky clean gym there. They got tons of equipment, and their staff is super friendly and super knowledgeable, and of course that ever-important judgment-free zone. They've also got the Planet Fitness memberships, which includes fitness training for no extra cost, as well as all other kinds of perks with that Planet Fitness Black Card. If you want to join today or get some more information, just stop in and visit your local Planet Fitness or go to www.planetfitness.com.
And welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. That is Anson. We have Maria in the sound booth. Pete is here. And of course, the one, the only, Dr. Pierce is in the building. And Doctor, I'm so glad we don't have any new injuries to
Crazy.
talk about this week.
Crazy.
You've had a busy year with this Lions
No
team.
doubt.
I've been well knowledgeable on the injuries of the Lions and watching the game. But, yeah, that is good news. I mean, it made national news that no injuries for the Lions against the Bears last week.
Yep.
So that was we're in the positives again.
It's trending up.
Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of those are fluke injuries, and you can't predict when or how they're going to happen. But one guy, Coach Dan Campbell, was talking about getting back. They started his practice window, the 21-day practice window, was Khalif Raymond, who had a hamstring injury, I believe, in week 12. So he's back with that. And I know there's different severities to hamstring injuries, but how long do you think we can expect before we see him activated off his 21-day window?
I think it gets down to when do we need them? We're nursing these guys, and, that's been the theme of a lot of shows, that we're nursing these guys as we continue to do well, as we're watching players who are on the field develop. They're getting more comfortable. They're getting more confident. So it's allowing these guys, it's all about who we're going to have ready for the playoffs. And he's another one that's in that area where could he go if we absolutely needed him? Probably. Do we absolutely need him right now? The answer is probably not. I mean, we're doing okay.
Yeah.
We're not looking past San Francisco, but I think we really are beefing up for playoffs in Minnesota. So I don't see him playing this week, but that hamstring, it's a second injury to it. So that puts him at a little bit more of a risk, where you're going to take a little bit more time to let him rest and heal and be productive. The good thing about a hamstring is you can pretty much wrap it up, brace it, use the secret sauce, get him functional at the 80% to 90% mark. And he's got to know his body too. I mean, adrenaline starts going, these guys start flying around the field, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Actually, DT Lions brings up in the chat, and this is kind of a sidebar conversation from what we're having, but we talked about the amount of injuries and how they're unpredictable. What do you think the correlation between NFL turf as opposed to grass is for some of these injuries?
Well, when turf first came out, I'm that old.
Yeah.
We're looking
Astro
at
turf.
the Silverdome days. It was injury after injury.
It was like playing on
ACLs.
concrete.
It was concrete with a little bit of that asphalt stuff on top.
Yep.
Now there's been it's amazing. Like, we could do a show just on the science on how to put turf on a field right now, and it's not just professional. It's all the way down. You look at St. Mary's. You look at all the schools around here, Brother Rice. They all have turf, right? It's big. And is it the turf shoes? And we came out with turf shoes. The cleats were digging in too deep. It was locking you in. There's a lot of factors going into it. There's a lot of money going into it also. So right now, turf versus grass, there's problems on grass. Grass gives too much. So there's pros and cons to both. Are we going to get a perfect field? No, because you've got guys colliding at 70 to 80 miles an hour, and if you just put them out there and hey, go play flag football or something like that, it's a whole different game and lack of injury. But does it play a role? 100% it's playing a role.
Okay.
Are we working hard from a scientific injury prevention work? Yeah. Just like we're working on the helmets every year. They're trying to make the game safer, right? The whole thing with concussion and, all that stuff, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. They're not out there to watch guys get hurt. They're out there.
And let's be honest, there's multi-billions of dollars in lawsuits coming their way for not helping the players and not taking the initiative.
Exactly, and I think they're trying to be proactive.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a malignant, maybe back in the day, next man up, we don't care. You're paying these guys.
It was more ignorance than purposeful, I think.
Yeah.
It was just like, they're tough guys. Go out there and play.
Yeah, the macho thing took over for everybody. I mean, you sit there and talk. I mean, I love not going to hockey, but the hockey guys, the old football guys, we had helmets. Even like when my dad played. My dad was a big athlete. With the leather helmet and all that. I mean, but the collision rate was reduced.
Right.
Then the argument is us against rugby and stuff. These guys are wearing no pads. So do they go in that 10th, 11th gear to collide? So there's a lot of pros.
Yeah, I heard there's one of the things with the helmet research and stuff like that is, the guys when they play rugby without helmets, like your body almost instinctually protects your head more than it would if you had the helmet on, knowing that you can take the hit. So there's almost part of human psychology involved in it too.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're braced or you're casted or you're in your own little bubble, and you can go through that wall.
Right.
If you're like, hey, I'm going to feel that, I'm going to react a little bit differently. But yeah, I mean, look, we can blame and we can look. I think it still gets down to the Lions' injuries are related to the intensity that they're playing. And that's it. I mean, there's turf is playing a role, grass is playing a role, the cleats are playing a role, the equipment's playing a role. The pre and post game is playing. It's all. You can't point to one thing.
Yeah.
Doc, are we going to see the bobblehead helmets on every player on the field in the next 5 years?
Well, I like seeing it in the youth.
Sure. Big time.
Because, those kids are making different type of decisions, right? I don't know. I mean, I love. Hey, Pete, can you pull up the Jetsons piece where the Jetsons are, where the robots are just playing against each other?
I wish I could. That'd be copyright violation.
Does it look like that, though? They all got the helmets on?
You've never seen that show?
No, I've seen the show.
The Jetsons. We know who the Jetsons are.
Yeah, I've seen the Jetsons, Doc.
The Jetsons where it's robots playing football out on the field and you're cheering like it's your team. So it all gets down to a gamer on the sideline. But no, no, I don't think we will see it. I think you're going to still see evolutions of the current helmet. It's for more protection than the bobblehead helmet.
Well, Doc, you brought up the youth, and that's something that I know you're passionate about, and a project that I know you're trying to get off the ground and initiate. You tell us a little bit about that and how you're trying to help the young athletes?
Well, we were talking out loud on the last show, and, it's just, I can get on my soapbox about insurance companies and the politics of the United, the CEO being shot for certain reasons and stuff like that. But you almost have to have something that drastic. They interviewed people and they got how many people are feeling bad. Do they feel it was right? Was it a wrongful death? We do have to have a shock to the system to make a change. There has to be a change. So therefore, my adaptation for 2025 is I'm already doing a lot of free work, right? The insurance companies are denying us right and left. We can't get what we need for these young athletes. I know, I'm considered a center of excellence, but I still can't order an MRI on a young kid. It's like we have to delay 4 to 6 weeks for them to fulfill some goal they have to delay care.
Right, and that's a whole football season for a kid.
I mean, it's a football season. It's a scholarship.
Yep.
It's everything. So what we talked about, and I'm pushing on Woodward Sports, is that maybe I'll just do a free clinic for those who can't afford it, for those with the insurances where they have to go to a doctor that doesn't really know what he's doing. And they're not knocking doctors, but I use the analogy, you want to go to a plumber when you have a plumbing issue, right? Same thing with a doctor. You're not going to the electrician to figure out what the plumbing issue is. It's going to having the ability, and that's one of the reasons I want to be on Woodward Sports and get the voice out there that there's the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. And these insurances are not dictating you to always go to the right thing. They'll go to the lowest person on the totem pole, which is the last person you want to be with sometimes. Not saying it's wrong. Is it good for the masses? Yeah. I don't treat the masses. I treat a very small elite group of athletes, and these are young athletes. I don't care if you're 6 years old or 18 years old. That's going to dictate what you had. I think it was Spencer you mentioned, hurt his back as a young kid.
Yep.
And never been the same. I mean, was he mistreated? Was he just like...
I don't think he was treated. I think that's the thing. A lot of young people don't have that insurance to where they can go seek out a doctor like you.
Yeah, I mean...
Especially once you get off your parents' insurance and stuff like that,
Right. I mean, it's, restrictions, timing, so we're floating the idea that, we used to do a bump clinic on Saturday morning for football injuries on Friday night. Maybe it's something similar to that. So we'll work on that. We love feedback from people. Would we have a GoFundMe account for people that can't afford? One thing is to diagnose them and get them in the right direction. The other thing is to give them that therapy that's going to be, I challenge therapy companies. I've already pushed on MRI Southfield to get a special rate for these kids. So we do want to, if I can reduce the amount of injuries going forward, and these kids don't know what's in front of them, right?
Right.
We can sit there like you're talking yourself. Like I hurt myself 20 years ago, and I'm still suffering from it.
Yep.
I'm one person. I blew my back out at 15, took me out for a whole year. Ruined my whole basketball career.
Took you down.
High school.
Same deal for me. I blew out my ACL, MCL, PCL. My first doctor I went to told me I might have meniscus damage. And I was playing on it after that. I went to an MRA, and they're like, no, this absolutely has been shredded. You look at Monty, who has some of the best guys around him, and he's going for other
3
opinions.
doctors.
So I'm curious,
He
Doc.
should have just come to me.
Hey,
But
you would have cleared him right away.
No, I mean, I told you Monday morning what was going on.
How much do you see this, though? How many times do you have athletes come to you
too
for the...
much.
Yeah.
Ungodly too much. I've watched scholarships be wasted. I've watched kids be on the sidelines. I've watched, when we were real big in hockey, we were at Detroit Sports Center. I saw hundreds and hundreds of hockey kids. And, we felt good about that. And it was just the treatment. I mean, I put a lot of kids out because of concussion protocol back then. So it's just, my point is also that these coaches are pushing something they don't know either. The level of coaching has elevated too. Oh, you need to push through it. Oh, you need to do something. I always put red flags or things to look for to the parent. Like that was my big educational thing for hockey. When you watch the kid doesn't know he's hurt. He's just short striding on the right side because his hip hurts, his knee hurts. You can see a difference of his mechanics while he's watching. If the parents notice, the coach better be the first one to do it.
Right.
Like when we're dealing at an elite level, like we did, my big thing was AAA hockey and championships and stuff like that. These kids are already, going. They're almost like a real team that we're treating them. But it's the young kids. It's those 10 to 16-year-olds that are getting, is it development? Are they on course for just adolescent changes? Can they skip? Can they have balance? There's other things we can make you a better player the earlier we get you.
Well, appreciate it, Doc. And once you come up with a name for this foundation, we'd love to throw.
We can ask the people. To name it
we'll throw our weight behind it too, because obviously sports are something we care about deeply here at Woodward Sports as well, especially youth sports. Especially what the youth has been through in the past 4 years with sports, like not being able to play for years, being able locked out of gyms, and not being able to pursue their dreams. So there's a lot of things that we need to address. But you taking this idea and making it a reality for kids, you're going to help a lot of people. So let us get behind you on that, and let's have these further discussions. And thank you for coming in each and every Tuesday and Thursday.
Did you want to bring up Frank Ragnar?
We got to run, but we can bring up Frank.
I got a quick question, though. You were a hooper? Was that your main sport?
Yeah.
What position?
I was a power forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that made you want to play the game? Who was your favorite?
I mean, I'm close to Gervin and those guys.
Nice.
I mean, those are my days.
Very
Gervin
cool.
and Dr. J, and the Pistons were pretty good back then, but it was that black and
Dan
white
Roundfield.
Yeah, it was that black and white TV I had that kind of get in that West Coast thing. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick shout out for Frank Ragnow being nominated for the Walter Payton. We're talking about charity. Here's a guy who's doing it at a high level. He did a tribute to his family members. And
picture's great.
Yeah.
I once caught a fish this big.
Yeah, so it's just these guys are human with big hearts, and we're worried about playoffs and Super Bowl, but the guys that give it back, I give 100% more.
Well, that guy's playing with an inoperable toe all season
doubt.
too. So let's
just wrap that thing.
Yeah,
just wrap it up.
Spit on it. All right, thank you, Doc. Thanks for coming in today. We appreciate you. And
happy holidays.
Yeah,
Happy
thank
holidays.
you.
Same to
Thanks
you,
for
brother.
coming in. And if you want to bet on any of these players coming back, I'm sure there's a line for it. And the healthier the Lions get, the better the odds.
That's right, and you might as well scan that QR code above my head. Time's running out in the NFL season, everybody. If you don't have your Caesars Sportsbook account, get one now. Scan that QR code above my head. Use the code word Woodward 1000 when you open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Make a deposit of $20 or more, and if you bet $20 or more and that first bet happens to lose, it won't, but if it does happen to lose, you'll get that first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000. But only if you scan the QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 when you open up that brand new Caesars Sportsbook account, and then take your winnings over to shop.woodwardsports.com and load up on the greatest Detroit sports merch around, guaranteed to turn heads around town. You got your Lions, your Pistons, your Red Wings, and your Tigers gear all there ready to go at shop.woodwardsports.com. The new year is coming, so get yourself some new Detroit sports merch. We'll be right back.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
1800 Tequila, the official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties and post-game shows. You're good. Oh, it is on. Okay. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game, live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township, and celebrate the wins with Smooth 1800 Tequila, the proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best tasting tequila, and please drink responsibly.
And get a little tequila in you, and why not buy a house? That's what you do. You make those impulse decisions, and next thing you know, you're calling up Mark White. He's saving you $5,000. That's a lot of tequila. Mark White and Associates. You can give him a call right now, 248-290-8242, or hit him up, markwhitesells.com.
You are a pro, my friend.
Thanks, man. That was great. Welcome back to the Ermanni and Edwards show with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Center. Woodward Sports Center?
Sports Center. That's our new name.
I like
Not
that.
bad.
Perfect. I like that. I don't know why I said that.
Perfect.
Now, I would like to catch the chat up because week 2, I took a lot of flack for a trade I made in our league. And we played last week, didn't we?
Yeah. Are you in the championship?
Wow.
Is the guy you traded the players to in the championship?
Well, because he
wait. Yes or no questions?
Oh, yeah, he definitely is.
Oh, okay.
He definitely is.
Oh,
And
so
I should
so
be there,
who's-
too, if I
so-
wouldn't have sat Mandrews.
So whose team did it help more? I think it helped his more.
Well, I want to catch you guys up because a certain man to my right, midsummer, told me I wouldn't see the playoffs for 2 years in that league, and I ended somebody's run. So I'll take it.
Congratulations. I didn't have Christian McCaffrey. I mean, it's true. What do you want me to do?
Well, will you be apologizing for the 49ers this weekend when they don't have them either?
No. But
right.
you know what I will
Play
do?
again.
I'm going to gloat when the idiot you traded those players to wins a championship in our
Snitch's
league.
year, buddy. It is Mr.
It's not
Maher's
It's
year.
not. You just awarded that guy Justin Jefferson and Lamar Jackson. He gave a team the best quarterback and the best wide receiver in the league and didn't think it would sway how this league was going to be.
Can I get in this league, please?
Right,
Because I want
right.
to take.
Yeah, you want free handouts?
Please.
Anson's a charity case
Please.
over here.
Salvation
and
Army.
here's the best part. Here's the best part, Pete. Did I try to get Justin Jefferson? Yes, I did.
Did
And
you?
what was I told? Untouchable.
Last year. You didn't ask this year.
Oh, well, once he's untouchable, why should I ask again?
Untouchable, and then you go ahead and make that
Then
deal?
he snakes me to the worst guy in our league who I absolutely despise as a human being. This guy's horrible.
He's not a big fan.
He's a horrible
You're not a big
person.
fan.
Did Anson choose
When
violence
we started
that day?
Woodward Sports, all this kid did was talk crap about how this was never going to go anywhere, how we were losers for having our little radio show.
While he was slinging fries.
Yeah, while he's asking people, do you want fries with that?
That's the guy you made the deal with, Anson?
Yeah, my arch enemy on the planet. He hands
He's
him
not winning
Justin
it.
Jefferson
He's not winning
and
it.
Lamar Jackson.
He gave your Lex Luthor all that
Yeah,
stuff.
he's like, here you go. Oh, and by the way, Stick, untouchable for you.
No, that's not how it went.
That is how it went.
It's a clever
Wow,
retelling, but
dude.
it's not quite how it went.
That is how it went.
You just got the.
And when this guy
your
wins,
stock just went
and
down,
Anson's
dude.
got Anson's got to put him on the trophy. And what does Anson always say? Oh, Joe, banners fly forever. Well, you just handed this guy forever. Thank you, Anson. You
we'll
swayed
see.
the entire
We'll see.
league.
We'll be talking
all
next
for you
week, my
not
friend.
to make it.
We'll
all
be
for you not to make it.
Out of my own mismanagement, I chose Shakir
What
over
kind of friend is
Mandrews.
that?
Lost by 3 points.
You're Lex
But Josh
Luthor.
Jacobs also did sit an entire half, which is what cost me both leagues. I lost by 0.5 and 3.
Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Well, he's going to sit an entire half against an opponent like that. Of course he is.
Listen, the trades that I made, what it did to my team going
went into
forward,
this league.
I have that big old Lions window for the next few years, and there will be nothing but crying, and it won't be my tears.
Congrats, you didn't make it. You're in the same boat as I
Bro,
am.
Snitches is winning it. Snitches get
You
stitches going for his number 2.
You better pray to God
I am.
Snitches wins, or you will never hear the end of this.
But listen, the poetic ending of me playing him in that final after you guys all hated that trade. I know that you can throw it out there for the chat, but you know what I did to my team with those trades. I got Josh Jacobs ultimately out of that trade. I got Pacheco. Both of those guys for the next 2 years, as well as Terry McLaurin, who since the trade has been the exact same as Jefferson. And guess who he won't have next year and will be a free agent? Jay Jetta. Guess who's got a whole bunch of money?
It's great. We'll find out next year. Fact is, you didn't do it this year.
So you mean back here tomorrow or what?
I will be back here tomorrow.
I'm looking
without
forward to
Justin
that.
Jefferson on my
Without
team.
JJ. The title. The title playoff first.
All right. Well, thanks for joining the show today. We will be back tomorrow. Maria,
Nice job, Maria.
Eastside Maria.
how
in
does
the
it feel to
house.
put KG out of a job?
I love it. Don't tell him I said that. I didn't say that.
She's gonna fit right in. Oh man.
All right. Thanks, Pete, for everything
welcome.
you do,
Thanks,
putting
boys.
everything
Appreciate
together.
it.
Thank you all in the chat for being a part of the conversation, and thank you all for just making Woodward Sports what it is.
The best.
Started out 4 years ago on the couch, 2 people watching, one of them my mom. And now here we are. So it's pretty crazy. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Love y'all. Heavyweights up next, 5 to 7. Make sure you tune in, chirp them, and get them riled up.